first, Jay was very intimidating.
Jay was cynical, he was funny.
A real rough and tumble, hardball.
So cocky and self-assured.
I mean, he was an old school journalist.
He made journalism fun.
And he was the best.
He inspired us. And I almost hate to hear him. I hear Jay sitting across the table from me now, rolling his eyes and sort of, getting ready to, coming up with this wisecrack to shoot down the schmaltzy language, because that's very Jay. But that's part of its inspiration, because he made us realize what we could be, what we had it in ourselves to be, and what journalism could be.
Jay Perkins has had his students in the print and media industries at the local, state, and national levels, and a number of LSU students who took such introductory courses from him, such as News Gathering 1, Intermediate Reporting, and Media Writing, attest that during the course of the semester, they began to feel a change within, a sense that journalism and media might be a fun and satisfying career choice.
Jay is the one who convinced me that I could take my interest in politics and current events and do something with it in newspapers. And I hadn't thought about that before. And so having met Jay that summer of 1987 and been inspired by him and been inspired by how cool he was, sitting there smoking his cigarette with his cowboy boots on his desk, I thought, you know what, this could be a future for me.
And at the time, state legislators were looking at whether to legalize gambling. And Jay, was sort of coaching me on the story, and he gave me some names of people to talk to, and it was easy to find plenty of opponents, back in those days. But I said, who should I go talk to who's really pushing for this? And he said, well, that would be the governor, Edwin Edwards. And I said, well, how do I get to the governor? And he said, well, just go to the mansion and knock on the door. A few hours later, I was with Edwards. So Jay always pushed us. I mean, he never told us there was nothing that we couldn't, that we couldn't do.
Jay Perkins came to LSU in 1982 after his wife Pamela wanted to return to her hometown of Baton Rouge, and for 30 years, until his retirement in 2012, Jay guided the LSU Manship School to new heights in terms of writing, researching, and reporting the news. One of the biggest accomplishments was taking his students to the Hearst Journalism Awards program in San Francisco, California. The program was founded in 1960 and provided support, encouragement, and assistance to journalism education at the college and university levels. During one 6-year period, students from LSU's Manship School won 11 William Randolph Hearst Foundation national championships, with 23 top 10 finishes, and 3 times under the tutelage of Jay Perkins, journalism students from LSU won the nation's Best Collegiate Journalist Award. In 1988, Stephanie Regal won 2nd place.
The Hearst Awards were a very, very big deal in the journalism education world, and Jay really taught us how to do the type of in-depth, serious reporting and writing that was necessary to win those types of awards.
And even when his students didn't finish at the top of the Hearst Awards program, Jay was just as supportive and encouraging.
Jay was able to reach in there when I made my first big flop at the Hearst Awards, pick me up and dust me off and give me the courage and the self-confidence to keep fighting, to keep learning, to keep working, and to believe in myself. That was so valuable.
Before coming to LSU, Jay worked for the Associated Press for 14 years, the majority in Washington, D.C. Having spent so much time in the secular media earned Jay plenty of respect from students and faculty, and as Jay said back in an interview in 2008, the real craft of journalism is honed out in the field.
But the bottom line is that the students have to have someone who has contacts within the media, who's been there, who knows how it works, because it doesn't work the way the textbooks tell you.
When I think back about my professors at LSU, there's just a handful of them that still stand out in my memory as having been so formative to my career as a journalist and to my vocation. And Jay is one of them.
We have all the bells and whistles now at the Manship School, but Jay was the one who really taught the students how to think, how to write, how to synthesize, how to interact with people, how to bring transparency to our public institutions. I mean, that is what this school should be teaching. That is what Jay did teach, and that will be his legacy.
Congratulations to Jay Perkins, 2013 member of the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication Hall of Fame.